May the Force be with you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heel of the Ring on the Sports Jedi Network. It's our Golden Lightsaber Awards. We're going to do a year review of 2024. We have our Lightsaber Awards. We got different categories. This is going to be a festive event. We hope you guys are ready, strapped up here for the next few. I'm not going to take too long. It looks like I'm going to be like Solo Sokoa. I'm going to take it all. I'm going to go solo at it. We thought we were going to have a panel of people to join us, but it looks like everybody lost the invitation in the mail or something happened. But hey, I'll truck it along. I'll pivot. I'll move forward. What's going on? Salute to everyone. Of course, that's what you do here when you do a live stream. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. 2025, I'm going to make some changes because I am fed up with the incompetence of not coming on and giving me your word. But let's move on to it. Let's go. It is the Hail of the Ring Awards for the first time. Let's go with it. Try to do a little bit of a different concept, but let's go right into it. Let's go with the first category. Who will be the first category tonight? Let's find out. We're going to go over the best 2024 year, of course. We're going to go with the first. Here is the first award, sir, the best moments. First award, WWE Best Female Caller from NXT. Now, we want to know who is the best female caller for NXT. Here are your nominees: Lyra Valkyria, Maxine Dupree, Tiffany Stratton, Elektra Lopez, or Blair Davenport. Who will be your female caller of year NXT? I can make an argument for each and one of these ladies. But to me, the number one NXT call-up to the main roster will be Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton, where she has given us heights of great euphoria to see her becoming Miss Money in the Bank. As I bring Chris in, as we get Chris. Chris, can you hear me? Hey, Chris,
can you hear me?
Yes, thank you for joining us this evening. I'm going to put you over here.
No problem. You look great. Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't look as great as you. I'm, supporting my Ohio State Buckeyes in the college football playoffs, but I'm excited to be here and, do the award. Let's go. I apologize for my camera in advance. I know it's going
to shiver.
It's going to shiver a little bit. I apologize for that. I got to get a new one, but I wanted to be here to do this because I said I would. So.
I appreciate you. Let me bring you on the screen this way so we could see you as we get more people in. We'll move the if they show up. We'll move around this stuff here. Best female call-up I got for me winning is Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton coming onto the main roster, bursting on the scenes, winning Miss Money in the Bank. Not only that, the crowd arousal that she received at Elimination Chamber in Perth was a phenomenal scene. Who do you have as your female top call-up for NXT in 2024?
No, I definitely have to agree. I mean, none of these women have really done, much of anything as much as Tiffany Stratton. She's involved in the big matches. She currently has the Women's Money in the Bank. She's involved in the main event women's scene on SmackDown. So I don't see why. I think this one's an obvious one. I would have to agree with you, Tiffany Stratton. I mean, she's not too long ago, she was on at least one of the top women's merch sellers, if not the men included too. So, Yeah, definitely Tiffany Stratton, and she's hot.
It doesn't hurt Tiffany Stratton as well. Her parents, watching. Be honest with you, I've seen Sophia Carnwell, aka Maxine Dupree on NXT. Seeing Tiffany Stratton from 2.0 days, herself up close and personal. Also, Elektra Lopez, her growth, and as well as Blair Davenport coming over from NXT UK. I think Blair Davenport wasn't being utilized well and on the main roster of SmackDown, not enough TV time, as well as Elektra Lopez. That was like more of a valet manager for Legado Fantasma. And of course, with Lyra Valkyria, you could have made a strong case, especially her getting into the finals of Queen of the Ring. Did a phenomenal job coming out of the Raw bracket, getting there, getting so close. If Lyra would have got over there, maybe you could have Tiffany Stratton run for the money. But I think Tiffany Stratton, well deserved. She gets the Golden Jedi Award, the Golden Saber Award for the best NXT call-up from all the women. All right, we're going to move on to the men's. Here are the categories of the men. Here we go. Men's NXT call-up. Here are the nominees. You've got Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, and Dragon Lee. Now, we can make a case for all of them here. Dragon Lee coming up to the main roster. Dragon Lee coming over with more experience of all the wrestlers out there. And short cup of coffee at NXT. Ilya Dragunov making a splash in the main roster. Everyone loved him coming off his NXT run, losing to Trick Williams, as well as Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. I'm going to ask you, Chris, who do you have as your Golden Lightsaber Award for the best male NXT call-up?
My award for best male NXT call-up this year would have to be Braun Breaker. He's a two-time Intercontinental Champion. He's had great matches at big events. I mean, he looks more of a wrestler now than he ever has before. Not that he ever hasn't, because he's always been great. I personally think he should have been one of the first people to be called up from the men, but I think it was Carmelo or so. I think, yeah. So I'm happy he's at where he's at now. He's a future World Heavyweight Champion. So my winner or my pick is Braun Breaker, the current Intercontinental Champion.
I agree with you here. Of course, I'm a big Braun Breaker mark. I think Braun Breaker, when he coming up to the main roster, winning the Intercontinental title 2 times, Intercontinental Champion, the way he burst on the scene with all the fanfare, with all the matches he put on, he's going to probably be nominated later on in some matches as we have Chef Dan join us. Give me a minute, Chef. And of course, you could talk about Ilya Dragunov, but the injuries hurt him, so you could take him out of that equation there. Carmelo Hayes not, getting his first match. You could put an argument for Carmelo Hayes. His first match on the main roster is against the world champion. You're going up with Cody Rhodes, the undisputed world champion, your first match. Put on a hell of a match, put on a hell of a show, but just, hasn't really gotten the stuck on neutral with Carmelo Hayes, and Dragon Lee with the LWO really hasn't warm us up there a little. I believe he's the speed champion currently right now, if I'm not mistaken. That's okay. That's nothing wrong with the speed championship, but he just stuck there. I'm going to go to Chef Dan, who's joining us here. Chef Dan, how are you? We're going with the best male NXT call-up of 2024. Give your arguments and your case on who is your pick.
My pick is it had to be Braun Breaker. Immediately jumps into Monday Night Raw, and he's already contending, 2-time Intercontinental Champion, and he's kind of put the crowd in a bit of a difficult position. He does heelish things that they're not supposed to like, but they still chant and bark because the dogs are out and about. Braun Breaker, that's my answer.
Very good, very good. Let me get Miss Gemma. She graciously sent her awards. I thought she was going to be on here. Of course, her best male call-up in 2024 from NXT, she's got Ilya Dragunov. So she likes Ilya Dragunov as her number 1 pick there for her best call-up in 2024, and Lyra Valkyria for Miss Gemma. So I wanted to give her picks there. I don't see any. Let me see if anyone else has emailed their picks. And of course, of the Heel of the Ring crew, No, other than that, that's what we got, Miss Gemma. So we will move on. We will truck on, like The Rock says. Of course, we got Terrence, who said Braun for the male as well. All right, so we're getting ready for the next one. Let's go with the best signing. The best signing of 2024. These are the nominees. Andrade returning. Jacob Fatu, Toma Tonga, Tangaloa, Eric Rowan, or Naomi. Now I'm going to go right to you, Chris. Who is the best signing for the WWE in 2024, in your opinion? Who do you like?
It is the guy who I have been hoping and praying that WWE would sign, and his name is Jacob Fatu. And I don't know if all the viewers out there or any of you guys are too familiar with some of the stuff that he's done before the WWE, but man, he is phenomenal. He can do all the flips. He's so real. He doesn't have to play a character. I know he's kind of playing a character right now, but if they would let him be him, he's one of the realest people in the business. He's so good. I think he's a little in the ring wise, he's better than Solo in my opinion. So the best signee in my opinion this year has to be Jacob Fatu. I love you, Jacob.
There you go. I've got Canary taking Tama Tonga as her best signing of 2024. So Miss Canary putting in the thank you, Miss Canary, for sending that pick in. She also has got the best call-up for Carmelo Hayes as Tiffany Strand as well. And Miss Gemma loves Jacob Fatu as well. That is her number one pick for her best signing. Terrence likes Jacob Fatu. Terrence, I'm going to go to you, to Chef Dan. Chef Dan, who is your best call-up here, best signing, for 2024 for the WWE?
The best signing to me has to be Naomi. I know that a lot of people are enamored with Jacob, and he has great ring presence. He absolutely does. But if you're talking about the best signing and what they've been able to do and the timing that they've done, I know that Jacob has been integral in the main storyline, but he still hasn't spent as much time as Naomi has. You remember Naomi coming back to the Royal Rumble, and since then she's had a bit of a strong year. It kind of plateaued in the middle, but we see she's ending the year off with the championship belt around her waist, albeit it's with an asterisk right now, but she's ending the year off with the championship. She was in the War Games, in the Women's Premier War Games, and not only that, it's looking to gear up that she is going to be a centerpiece in a lot of these storylines coming up in the future for SmackDown. That has a lot more, that is catered a lot more to the women's matchup. So to me, it's Naomi.
All right, my pick for the best signing for 2024, I'm going to go with everyone unanimous, is with except for Chef, which I had Naomi on my radar because she opened the door for other different things and other different reasons. She would have gotten an advancement in the women's tournament, the United States women's tournament. I would have probably raised an eyebrow, given her a nudge. I'm gonna go with Jacob Fatu because Jacob Fatu becomes the enforcer to the new bloodline and the one obstacle that gives legitimacy to that new bloodline. Like, you don't want to mess with them. You know, Solo Sikoa was that enforcer, but now he's the mouthpiece. He's the leader. He's the head of the table right now because he has the Unifather, like it or not. You know, agree or disagree, he has the Unifather around his neck. Jacob Fatu is his enforcer, watching his back and what the man has done, and his presence. People want to see, and if you're telling me Jacob Fatu is in any of the matches, he's going to put butts to the seat. So that is a big signing for the WWE, regardless of the fact he hasn't gotten the title. And you just mentioned his name. You mentioned the name Jacob Fatu versus Seth Rollins, Jacob Fatu versus Gunther, Jacob Fatu versus Braun. You're already selling butts in the seats because of the name. So I got to give that WWE 2024 best signing because he is going to gravitate and he's going to generate what Vince McMahon and everybody wants is money, and he's going to bring money. good money, not the CEO type of money that's going to make a cringe dance. But we'll move on to that. Definitely. Oh my God, there we go. All the pain. All right, we're going to go to our next college glory. Who is the tag team of the year? We got the names out there. Of course, you got Jade and Bianca, Motor City Machine Guns making their WWE debut when, of course, the Gorilla of Destruction, which is Toma Tonga Loa. Awesome Truth winning gold and becoming favorites here in 2024. We have Isla Donin and Alba Fire, the Unholy Human, and of course, the one and only the Kabuki Warriors, Carrie Singh and Asuka. I'm gonna go to Chef Dan on this one. Chef, who do you have, as your tag team of the year for the WWE 2024?
It's easy to me. It's Jade and Bianca. They've been the most dominant tag team all year round, men or women, period. Once they pop up on the show, it's not about, who's facing them. It's about how good can you make them look while they're facing you, and that's really it.
All right. I got Terrence, who likes, of course, Jade and Bianca, so he has them as their pick. Top-notch tag team of the year. Let me go with, let me get Miss Canary's pick. I don't have the rest. It just stopped. It cut off on that there. So Miss Canary, if you have that, if you hear the sound of my voice, please let me know who is your pick. I'm gonna go to Chris. Chris, who do you have as your tag team of the year?
I know originally I said DIY because of their recent tag team win, but I'm gonna agree with you guys. I am gonna say Jade and Bianca. I will change my answer. They have, although the women's tag team title supposedly doesn't mean much, or most people don't care about it, they have been consistent throughout the year, unlike some of these other tag teams like JD and Finn. 2 title defenses in over 100 days is absolutely unacceptable when you're a talent, especially in Finn Balor's category. So I would definitely have to say Jade and Bianca, especially that they were champions majority of the year. So that's my pick, Jade and Bianca.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna have any difference here. I think I'm going with also Jade and Bianca, because whenever these ladies, of course, people complain about the women's tag team titles. First and foremost, they don't like them, or they have their distaste, or their dislike, or they cursed, or all that good stuff they want to say with it. But whenever they have a match, from when they captivated in France on Backlash, or when they regained it, or even when they lost it at Clash of the Castle, you are paying attention to the Jade and Bianca match, regardless of the fact triple threat or fatal 4-way or just a one-on-one matchup. When those two ladies command the screen, they command your attention. They stop you from what you're doing, from either checking Twitter or anything, going to get a beverage or a snack. You want to watch these two ladies because they're impressive. They're dominating. They captivate your attention. There's great honorable mentions. It's great to see Awesome Truth together, giving that run for R-Truth and Miz. Veterans in the industry, veterans in WWE, getting that title run. It was a nice nostalgic run. Good job for them. They're the problem that hurt to me, Awesome Truth, they weren't on TV. They weren't wrestling consistent enough so you could put them in a category of tag team of the year. Motor City Machine Gun, great debut, great winning that tournament, great impact. Miss Gemma picks Motor City Machine Guns. That's her tag team of the year. That was a good call there. Not enough time for the whole 2024. They came in the back end of the year, just fell short. DYI didn't really connect with the fans too much, and they're winning the titles here the way they did that heel swerve. Could have got you interested enough. I don't think they didn't have enough meat on the bone, like they say. That's why I'm going to go with Jade and Bianca, because they grabbed them just for those reasons. They stopped me from what I'm doing because I gotta watch them work. Regardless of the fact, if you want to count how many wrestling moves Jade Cargill does, or whatever the case was, those ladies on screen, I'm stopping. I'm putting everything down because you have my full undivided attention, and to me, that's why they deserve the tag team of the year. I know we put them together. No Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. That's a nice, they were the former NXT Tag Team Champions, winning in their hometown in Clash of the Castle in Scotland. Yes, but not enough TV time, not enough of a storyline to gravitate them to want to grab to them and say, I got to see them more because of the storyline. With Jade and Bianca, there's a storyline now finishing 2024 into 2025. Who injured her? And of course, and that's also part, it's not just the wrestling attribute that we make them the number one. There's also storyline related on why we want to see them. So again, Kabuki Warriors did a phenomenal job in the first part of the year. I think the Asuka injury hurt Asuka going forward for us to want to, continue with the Kabuki Warriors and Damage Control, seeing them as that dominant force tag team, because it happened so early in the year. Out of sight, out of mind. I hate to say that happened to Asuka, and it's not her fault that she got injured. I think that's what hurted the Kabuki Warriors on winning that award, guys. So, we're gonna move on to the next category here. Let's see, which is we got the best signing is out of the way. We'll make sure I don't get redundant. The male call-ups are out. Yes, absolutely. And best tag team is out. As we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Here is the best moment of 2024. And of course, I didn't have a graphic. I thought I had it. No, I don't have a graphic, but I do have the the nominees. Here it is. Best moment of the year of 2024. And these are the nominees. Cody finishing his story at WrestleMania 40. The whole Bloodline saga. When I mean the Bloodline saga, I'm talking about everything from the new 2.0 Bloodline with The Rock being interjected in WrestleMania, or before WrestleMania, the first Monday Night Raw, where he's going to sit. That's all Bloodline tied. The press conference of WrestleMania, coming out and 1, 2, 3, stroke to the throat. John Cena's announcement at the last time is here tour in Money in the Bank. The women's mid-card title being introduced on both brands, for both Raw and SmackDown, something that we've been advocating and wanting to see. And of course, the return of Saturday night's main event, and the number 6 one that I couldn't fit on the ticker was the return of the Wyatt 6. I'm going to go to you, Chris. Your best moment of 2024. When you think of 2024 in the WWE, this is your top moment.
Man, it's going to kill me to say this because I am not a big fan of Cody Rhodes. But the more I think about it, it would be Cody finishing a story. I love Cena announcing his retirement, but that happened sort of towards summer, kind of a little after. I just think the Cody Rhodes finishing a story was something that was built up for a year, a little over a year. So for it to finally happen, I think it's more memorable. And oh my gosh, the fans literally went on Twitter on a rampage and wanted the main event changed for Cody Rhodes to finish the story. So that's why my answer and my award goes to Cody Rhodes for finishing his story.
Well put. Chef, your thoughts of the best moment of 2024?
All right. My honorable mention is going to be the Wyatt 6 because they did an excellent job with the rollout. My best moment of 2024 is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in Hell in a Cell.
No, that's not the answer. That's a match of the year.
Oh, that's a match.
You're jumping ahead. These are your nominees.
I only have that. I gotta.
I mean, that's your choice. I did give you guys a choice. Okay. So your moment is that we're gonna move on. We're gonna truck on like the way The Rock says. All right. So his moment of the year is the Drew McIntyre CM Punk saga. I'm gonna put the saga because it's a whole year. It's a whole year from the Royal Rumble. Hell in the Cell, Clash of the Castle, Money in the Bank, and Bad Blood. So okay, I'm gonna
Oh yeah, because Bloodline Saga is there. So yeah, thank you. But Punk versus Drew Saga. That's my moment of 2024. That was, I think, the best rivalry. It had the best captivating moments. Even though Drew McIntyre is a melatonin to me, I still tuned in from time to time to see what he was going to do to aggravate Punk to make Punk come back out, because it was captivating. And not only that, we got to see, Punk put him away for some extended time, so we didn't see Drew McIntyre for a while. I mean, it don't get no better than that.
All right, cool. Terrence likes also the Bloodline Saga, as well as Miss Gemma. I'm gonna refresh Twitter X again. I don't have full of all of Canary's tweets. She just got one. It got cut off, so I don't know which her. Oh, her best moment is the women's mid-card title on both brands. So Canary likes the women's mid-card titles on both brands. I was leaning to that one at first, because this is something where now the women's wrestling gets introduced, with the other women's wrestlers becoming irrelevant. You're paying attention to their matches, from a BFAB to Selena Vega to Lyra Valkyria, where we normally say bathroom break, not me, but male in general, say bathroom break, let me check Twitter, let me pick my nose, whatever the case is. Now there's implementations when these mid-card titles or number one contenders. I had that close second for me. The moment of 2024, when I think of WWE in 2024, and what is a storyline that's feeding everyone right now, and it has branches, technicals, it is like the what if, what if for Marvel, it's the Bloodline, because it gave a lot of different storylines, the whole saga, because now you interjected CM Punk needs a favor from the wise man. That's one branch. You have branches also going on with Drew McIntyre. Why he's so bitter and upset? Because they cost him the chance to win titles. You saw that on SmackDown going to Solo Sikoa. I want to beat your butt, but right now, there, he reasoned and talked about. Also, Cody Rhodes he got power drive by Kevin Owens because he teamed up with Roman Reigns, someone that you guys were trying to take down. The Bloodline Saga feeds every other of the male storyline pretty much in the WWE. So I got to say the Bloodline Saga is the best moment of 2024, regardless of the fact what happened, not having the Undisputed World title, but there's still the Ulafala. They're still, keeping us invested on what's next with them. How many more family members are there in this family?
Oh, wow.
Who's next? Who's going to come out of the woodworks? Who's going to come out in 2025? How much, so to me, that is the best moment of 2024, in my opinion. I can see where the honorable mentions are as well for the Wyatt Six, seeing that come to life, seeing that July day when they came out and they destroyed Gorilla the position, and they were going to change the creative in the WWE on the way, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda had in his mind. And that was a great moment, but they didn't do anything. They didn't follow up with them. They kind of, it was nice, but they kind of stood in neutral. That would have been, they would wish they could have finished off strong. John Cena's announcement, he was the franchise. When you think about the WWE ruthless aggression and it's coming to an end, that era with John Cena's announcement and the way he said it and giving us a full year of commitment of wrestling tour, a goodbye tour, that's a big moment in 2024. But you could see that's going to seep into 2025. Those are all good, strong points there. But again, the Cody finishing his story was a little bit selfish. I hate to say it. It's him pointing at the sign at WrestleMania, at Royal Rumble, where you should have waited, not pointed at Roman, not the sign. You should have pointed at the sign because you and Dave LaGreca fucked the wrestling outcome, crying on a pink robe and screwing up the WrestleMania moment, because now everybody wants Cody to lose this title. Everybody wants Rock and Roman to wrestle. I say, pal, you messed up. You should have had it last year. That would have been out of the picture. We would have been clean. Cody would have been the champion. Everything would have been fresh, and we would have this. But you know what? Just like we had to eat Joe, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. Just how we had to eat Joe Biden for 4 years, now you got to eat it. Cody's your champion. Eat it. Look at the shit we went through. Eat it now. So now we move on. Okay, I'm keeping it real today. I'm keeping it extremely real. All right. So as we we truck on, this is the Heal the Ring podcast either. This is not the baby face of the ring either. So the Heal the Ring. So here we go. This is a great one. PLE of the year. The PLE of the year. Here are your nominees. WrestleMania 40. Elimination Chamber in Perth. Royal Rumble, Bad Blood Atlanta, or Clash at the Castle, or your choice that is not on this panel. I'm going to go to Chef. Your premium live event that you don't mind watching it 2 or 3 times. If you're on a flight, on a plane, and you have to show one video, one wrestling match for 2024, which one would it be?
It's a hard answer.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
It is, but that's why we ask the tough questions.
Because I can't say that. That's a swerve, and that don't even mean nothing. My PLE. It's got to be Bad Blood.
Oh, nice. I got Terrence. Can you explain? Go for it.
Kind of the way they announced it, the way everyone was kind of fiendish for it, but also it wasn't like they created storylines for Bad Blood. They just had the storylines already there, and they said, you know what? Let's bring Bad Blood in so we could churn everything up a notch. And that's what they did with Bad Blood. So Bad Blood affected all storylines across. It did its job, and now it's looking to be a mainstay. Bad Blood is my PLE of the year.
Terrence likes Bad Blood as well. Terrence put Bad Blood. I'll give you Gemma before I go to Chris. Chris, let me get Gemma's PLE of the year. It's also Bad Blood. She liked Bad Blood as well. So right now, got a little bit. Actually, excuse me. No, that's different. She said WrestleMania 40. She liked WrestleMania 40. I apologize, Gemma, for putting that out there, the wrong information. So, and let me go right to you, Chris. Who was your PLE of the year that you wouldn't mind watching over again?
My PLE of the year would have to be the Royal Rumble. My answer to the Royal Rumble is because, first off, you never know what can happen in a Royal Rumble. That was kind of the start of the TNA partnership. You know, we saw Jordynne Grace go out there and, you know, essentially have her moment in the WWE while representing the Knockouts. They even mentioned they started, her and Naomi came face to face right after they had a great championship match in TNA. You know, from the men's Royal Rumble to where there was so much talk about was CM Punk supposed to win, he got hurt, now Cody won last minute. There's just so many what ifs, you know, Cody pointing at Roman at the end, Seth Rollins sitting up top. You know, it was a really good pay-per-view to start the year. I know it's kind of, you know, it's the very first pay-per-view of the year. How is it the pay-per-view of the year in your? It's just you never know what could happen in a Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is also the foundation, the start of the road to the biggest wrestling event ever in WrestleMania. So for that reason, my answer is the Royal Rumble.
Hey, I was with you. I'm there with that Royal Rumble. I think I was close to that pick on there because I was going to go WrestleMania, but it has to be both night. Night one to me is the best. To me, is my favorite.
I agree.
I hate night two. Even seeing Andre the Giant come out there and help Cody finish the story, that was disgusting. But at the end of the night, just to see WrestleMania 1, seeing The Rock back in there at night one, Elimination Chamber, the sights and sound of Rhea Ripley closing an international show, to me was the top notch of my favorite pay-per-view, PLE of the year. The women in the Elimination Chamber, Bianca Belair spot, you know, Jean Jade in that Elimination Chamber, seeing all the different Tiffany becoming that international star, hearing the crowd internationally going and cheering the women wrestling, I think kind of gave birth for the mid-card titles in the WWE that they could put stock and close a premium live event internationally, where it usually, they frown upon the women in other countries and other cultures. They were the ones. I'm not saying Australia, but they did a good job to let us know we want to see women in 2024 and beyond to close out the premium event. To me, that's why Elimination Chamber to me was my favorite PLE of the year. Bad Blood was right there. Bad Blood was great, but the reason why my personal opinion didn't go to Bad Blood as number one was that's where Cody Rhodes should have won the Undisputed World title, not at WrestleMania. I'm going to say it again for the 50,000th time. That's where Roman should have broke Hulk Hogan's record in September. We got Hogan out of the wrestling books. As many people dislike Hulk Hogan, calls him a racist, whatever the case it is. You could have got Hogan wiped out of the wrestling books, but you didn't because you guys were impetuous fools to want to put Cody Rhodes to win this title at WrestleMania. But I digress. He goes, and that would have been where he would have won it in his hometown, by the way, of Atlanta. At Bad Blood, that would have been, they would have thrown a damn parade and WWE would have been thriving, but whatever, it is what it is. They pivot, they went that way, they catered to Busted Open, my opinion, and all the crybabies, and they moved it, and again, we can't change that. Clash of the Castle was a great premium live event there. There was a lot of good nostalgia for Isla Dawn and Alpha Fire. Good to see that. We saw Joe Henry make his surface on that billboard there. And becoming an international star there on Clash of the Castle in Scotland. Drew McIntyre not winning and getting screwed by CM Punk. I mean, my God, that could have been, some people would have loved that as their PLE of the year, where he, and he loses at his hometown and all the ramifications. That was another one where you could make an argument. I'm making no arguments of, it was a tough choice. Like you said, it was a really tough choice of which one you would have picked as your top-notch premium live event of the year. But again, for me, for those reasons, is Elimination Chamber. Of course, when we find out, what ramifications happen from there on, so forth for the PLE of the year. As we get down to some nitty-gritty stuff, guys, we're gonna go with the female wrestler of the year. Let me get that graph. Let me get that here. And here are your nominees. Where are the female wrestlers of the year? No, actually, female match of the year. Look at that. I made a botch. Man, I'm all elite. Well, I'm all elite with the botches tonight. Okay, so here is WWE female match of the year. We've got the triple threat: Naomi, Bayley, and Tiffany Stratton at Backlash. WrestleMania 40: Io Sky versus Bayley. You've got Queen of the Ring finals. It's Miss Nia Jax taking on Elijah Valkyria. The Elimination Chamber, the women's Elimination Chamber, or the last woman standing on Monday Night Raw between Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. I'm gonna go right to Chef Dan. Chef, which of these is your female match of the year? Or do you have a one in particular that says you forgot this one, Jedi?
Since you added in the female Elimination Chamber, can I say the women's Royal Rumble?
Yeah, of course. That's a match.
That night I said it. They outperformed the men's Royal Rumble.
That's true.
And that's a Royal Rumble that, like you said, if there's something I could go back and watch again and again, that would be that female's Royal Rumble right there, because it was potentially the best. I think it competes with the one where Ric Flair won the title.
Wow, that's my all-time favorite, by the way. All right, let me see. Terrence, what do you have there, Terrence? As Terrence is signing right now, maybe he's writing it as now. Let's go. The women's match of the year for Gemma. I don't see it here. She does not have it. I don't think she wrote it there. Okay, Chris, I'm gonna go with you there. Your female match of the year.
So my female match of the year might shock people, but it's actually one that's not on this list. It is a wild card. My female match of the year, specifically storyline reasons, would have to be Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. That is probably my female match of the year, because who the heck expected what happened at the end of the match. I didn't expect Liv to win the match. It was just a whole swerve. You know, it kicked off such a great summer pay-per-view. I don't see why, you know, that wouldn't be a match of the year. So in my opinion, I'm gonna pull a little wild card and say Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. To me, that was a great women's match and story together.
I can see where you came from because it gave the storyline of Liv Watch Me tour, her revenge tour, cutting off there, and the turn of Dominic Mysterio. That's a tough pick there, and Dominic turning on Rhea, breaking her heart, and what we have currently right now, one of the Raw's hottest storyline, love triangle, telenovela, soap opera that's going on Raw, and just keeps giving birth to it because now it continues to, and we talked about WWE having that storyline where you're invested in a story where it's going to make you want to watch week to week and month to month. You know what? That was a good honorable mention there, and that's a good pick there. The Women's Royal Rumble, when we first saw it, we're like, damn, this is great.
Really good.
Seeing
I liked it better
the
than
return. Yes, it was better than the men's. We're seeing Naomi returning to the company was like, whoa. And then you get a Jordan Grace after that. Nia Jax return, you know, coming and becoming that monster, and all the different picks there, and seeing the different women in there, and the way they finished it off, you know, at the end there, Rhea winning and so forth. You're like, man, that was a hell of a tough one. This is a tough one. Becky we got here. I agree with that. The women showed out in the match, but his match of the night is Becky versus Nia Jax, last woman standing on Raw. Because who would have thought on the random Raw this was match of the year for Becky Lynch and Nia Jax? You know, that's a great one for Terrence there. Which one for me to pick? It's a tough one. I'm going to have to pick one of these women matches, and you kind of open my eyes to that Rhea and Liv, because it's true. They're giving a storyline that we all like it or not and is invested. I'm gonna, you kind of made me pivot. Yeah. I like that Rhea and Liv because of the storyline that continues to implement and show out and show us there. But I'm still gonna go back to the Elimination Chamber women because it opened up the eyes of, again, the ramification, the repercussion of why we need mid-card titles, because the women do get the cheer outside of because we saw that as well from the triple threat match with Bayley. Well, then I'm going to stick with the nomination. I'm going to go with Bayley, Tiffany, and Naomi because that crowd in France was enamored for those women, and the women ball out and showed us that the women could get cheered not only in Perth, not only at the Rumble, but in France, international. And I think, to me, I kind of like to see the women get cheered and get given the right acknowledgement that they deserve, and not stand on their hands like some of the American crowds in the United States that they, bathroom break or they're losing interest, and international crowds tend to pick on that. So I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to stick with the ones that I put up there, and I'm going to stick with that. It's going to be the triple threat match there in France. All right, so we're going to go now to the male match of the year. The male match of the year, I'm going to get the graphic up here. Give me a second. Male match of the year. Here they are. King of the Ring, Gunther versus Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, where everyone and their mother from the WWE Ghost of Past came out to help. Clash of the Castle, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. Survivor Series, the triple threat match with Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. Hell in the Cell, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, the closeout there. Or at the Crown Jewel, Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. I'm going to go to Chef Dan. Who is your WWE match of the year?
I have to go we're saying match of the year, right? Just what happened in that ring. In
You
that
want a
square
match that you're like, holy crap! I want you to see that again and again
with
and
the
again.
striped shirt guy that's supposed to be, you know, or female that's supposed to be.
No, match of the year for the male. Female has their
Yeah,
own.
no. I'm saying no. But the guy with the striped shirt, guy or female, that's usually in there, kind of separating and making sure things go. I gotta go Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. If you're telling me a match of the year, like I'm sitting there, I'm going, holy crap. Because it's in this day and age, it is tough to find me a match that's as close to a realistic fight or struggle as that one was, even with it involving 3 guys, which is hard to do, but they still made it possible. It was hard hitting, it was entertaining, and my eyes were glued to the screen through. I couldn't turn away from it. My match of the year.
Nice. Okay. Nice. All right. Terrence likes Gunther versus Randy Orton. Gunther versus Randy Orton. The first one would be controversial finish because it opened up for great opportunity for more matches later down the road between those 2 guys. Good job there, Terrence. I'm going to go right to you, Chris. Match of the year in your eyes. Well, we have a selective choice that's not available there.
I do have my pick is on this poll. My choice might shock people as well, but it would be Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest at the Clash of the Castle. Now, people, you might think I'm being biased because I'm a big Damian Priest fan. He's a fellow Boricua. No, that's not why. When you see a man who's elevated himself like Drew McIntyre go out there in a packed arena stadium in his hometown and get screwed over by CM Punk in the main event in a hard-hitting big man I was at the Raw before that event, and it just made, I don't know, maybe that's why I enjoyed the match so well, because I was there live for the build-up. But I will never forget, just you didn't know that was Punk unless you really saw it in that split second. You didn't know Punk was that too. Still lives in my head. So for you know, and it added just more fire to what they had going on. You didn't know if you wanted to cheer for Punk or not. It was great. So for that reason, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, Clash of the Castle.
I like that, especially for what happened there for Damian Priest, kind of legitimizing his title run, you know, getting that big title defense.
That is another reason why that's match of the year for me, because people had their doubts.
Correct.
Priest, that he's going to be like a Jack Swagger.
Transitional champion. You heard that word a lot. You know, it was, I believe it was under his 40 days as
Give me a break.
the world champion. And if, you know, like, that didn't look good for Damian going to Scotland to defend that under 40 days. He's going to be a quick one and done transitional champion, and no, he trucked through that. Not only that, they legitimized Damian's run at Money in the Bank being Seth freaking Rollins, the inaugural world champion. Gave him a legitimacy. I can see where you're coming from that. I can see your point there, putting an argument to your point on that there. To me, the match of the year for me, because it gave us the finishing of a story. It gave us a finishing of Bad Blood, of all the different, it added to what you said, your match of the year was Bad Blood. Seeing the CM Punk Drew McIntyre finish at the Hell in the Cell, to me, was match of the year, because we saw some blood. We saw things that Punk went to Drew. Outstanding heel work. Some people say the best work of his career. In 2024. From everything there, and finishing on off and having that payoff at Bad Blood, it was from the Royal Rumble, getting injured for Punk, not being able to TV, and keeping us invested and wanting to see, and then a 50 cents bracelet that was made with a lot of love and just love for, and the way Punk defended that honor, and it just didn't show us how Anything is, it doesn't matter the value, it's how priceless it was to him. And he fought through injury, going up with Drew McIntyre and Drew. I mean, to me, that's why I give that the match of the year. You know me, the triple threat with Braun, Sheamus, Ludwig was a great one. A hell of a match there. You know, it was the first time I watched it, I couldn't remember it, but at the end of the day, it was still a hell of a match. I watched it over and over again because it wasn't because I didn't pay attention, but it was for different reasons. But I digress. It was the holiday seasons, but It was all great and good and fun. All the other matches, of course, Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, no one expect that to be a hell of a match there on Crown Jewel. They bought it. They showed out. They surprised us, pleasantly surprised. Logan Paul, very underrated wrestler in my opinion, and so forth. So we get that going on. Let's go right here to the next category. Now we got we do the female wrestler of the year. I mean, the female match of the year.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did the male. Now, we got a few more matches here. Let me start removing them out there so I don't start going over. So we get Golden Sabers there. Let me remove that so I know where we're going through. All right. We did the PLA of the year. That's out of the picture. All right, let's go with the 2024 Women Wrestler of the Year. Now, Women Wrestler of the Year, we have Chelsea Green, Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Tiffany Stratton. Go to you to Chris. Chris, out of these ladies, or your choice, who is your 2024 Golden Saber, Lightsaber Women Wrestler of the Year?
My 2024 Women Wrestler of the Year. Again, I'm not a big fan of this person, but I gotta give her props where it's due, and I think it's Liv Morgan. To see the way she's just grown, popularity wise. I mean, she's been women's champion for a while. She's been involved in some huge matches against Rhea Ripley. I wouldn't put Rhea Ripley on there just because she's hurt. She had to lose her title. And Rhea Ripley's essentially the star. When you think of women wrestling, they're pushing her as the biggest women's wrestler right now. They're pushing her as the most popular with her doing Netflix, going out there. She's a part of big stuff. And for Liv Morgan to go out there, take her boyfriend, take her group, do everything she said she was going to do to the quote-unquote most popular, dominant female wrestler in Rhea Ripley, it has to be Liv Morgan.
Miss Gemma has Nia Jax as her Woman Wrestler of the Year. Also, she had CM Punk and Drew McIntyre as her Match of the Year. Chef Dan, Women's Wrestler WWE of the Year. Who is the Golden Lightsaber heading to?
Once you're a part of the premier women's storyline, and then you win Crown Jewel Championship, and then you end off the year strong with essentially a clean victory over Io Sky in Saturday Night Main Event. It's got to be Liv Morgan for me. On top of the way she dominated Monday nights for a while. Like that whole her, hitting on Dominic Mysterio and that had the internet ablaze for a while. Even though right now people are souring on it because it's like it's time's past, but in the moment it was the hottest thing going, and that was her. She did that. Liv Morgan.
Terrence likes Liv Morgan as well. Liv Morgan for the entire year, whether you like her or not, she's been killing it in 2024. Of course, Miss Gemma has, I believe Miss Canary has Liv Morgan as well. I think this is a unanimous choice. You could have put a fight. You could have put a fight for Bayley recapturing title and getting it back at WrestleMania 40. The crowd was behind her, breaking off of Damage Control, her title defenses throughout the year. make a great point for Bailey. You wanted to make honorable mentions as well for Tiffany Stratton. Her call up to NXT, going on there, hearing the international crowd in Australia, and Tiffany taking that torch and running with the popularity that Tiffany is, winning the pop that she got, winning the briefcase at the Money in the Bank in Toronto. Possible tease if she's going to turn, if she's going to cash in, on who she's going to cash in. People wanted to see the Tiffany Stratton title reign, either as a babyface, heel, whatever the case is. They want to see her cash in and become successful. That's something that you could build momentum for Tiffany as winners of the year. Nia Jax, winning, improving from her match. Great matches, great moments there, being a main event at Australia, winning Queen of the Ring tournament. But what fell short, not winning that Grand Slam title, to me, just took her off of being a peg of becoming Women Wrestler of the Year. I'm going unanimously with Liv Morgan, because Liv Morgan, like you said, that crown jewel, they invested in her. Not being in WrestleMania, first and foremost, guys, she didn't wrestle in WrestleMania either night. She didn't have a match. She wasn't even thought about. And then after WrestleMania, I remember she went on Busted Open, Watch Me Tonight on Monday Night Raw, the injury, and she took off. She actually said she was going to take everything away from Rhea and Watch Me, and she did that from April to now. And again, back to the biggest storyline in Raw that we want to watch week in, week out, regardless of the fact if you think Rhea and Liv is being overused or whatever the case is, or any negativity throughout it, you're still invested. That's the not top storyline, because we still don't know who took why did Finn Balor take the room key? Is he still in cahoots with Liv? Is she playing Dominic Mysterio? Or now Raquel Rodriguez is added to the storyline. There's a lot. Could it be could Dominic be that dirty that is another love triangle? He already did it with Rhea, and to Liv, could he do what he can? There's so many possibilities, so many tentacles when it comes to the Liv Morgan storyline. And she's, plus, by the way, like Chef Dead said, she had clean victories against Io Sky on Saturday night's main event. She's winning. She's becoming legitimized her title run for Liv Morgan. And what a year of closing out 2024. Golden Lightsaber for Liv Morgan. Good job there. Good storyline wise. I enjoy that. And we move on now. Let's go to the male wrestler of the year. Let me get the graphic. I got the picture up. Let me get that. Here are the nominees. 2024 Golden Lightsaber Men of the Year: Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Solo Sikoa, Jey Uso, CM Punk, and Sami Zayn. I'm going to go right to Chef Dan. Who is your 2024 Male Wrestler of the Year? Golden Lightsaber Award goes to
main event Jey Uso. I don't even gotta explain it.
Okay.
He's in your city. Yeet.
Terrence likes Jey Uso. Gemma likes Jey Uso as well. So we have three. I'm gonna go right to you, Chris. Who is your male wrestler of the year?
Look, I love Jey Uso. Nothing against him. I would put him at second. My opinion. Let's talk about what Solo Sikoa has done, shall we? Because I think it's him. This guy has gone from a nobody, I don't mean nobody, but to being Roman's sidekick, to people are thinking, oh, is this all he's going to do? He took the Ula Fala from Roman Reigns. Who has stepped up to Roman Reigns in the level that Solo Sikoa and this new bloodline has? They took out Paul Heyman. And now he's fighting Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns on the premiere of Netflix in the main event. I don't see why we wouldn't have Solo. Now, I love Jey Uso. You guys had a great point. He's super over with the crowd. I got to see him come out right in the tunnel where I was at in June. Love him. Not taking anything away from him. But in the ring, he's kind of flat, in my opinion. Solo Sikoa in the ring, I think, is better, and he's just improved so much, more. And Jay was already over, Jay already had that from the Usos, Solo needed this. So for those reasons, especially being the one of the only persons to really step up to the tribal chief, wrestler of the year, Solo Sikoa.
I like what you say there. I'm gonna give cases before I give you my rest of the year. Let's go with Gunther. Gunther easily, could have been your rest of the year, winning the King of the Ring, having that strong year there. But you remember him losing his Intercontinental title to Sami Zayn at big stage at WrestleMania. Also, not able to get that revenge on him. Not able to get that Crown Jewel championship against Cody Rhodes at Classic at the Saudi show. Crown Jewel, kind of give you that. Having that, but he was also in great, breaking up Imperium. You could easily said possibly wrestler of the year. If he would have won that Crown Jewel, I think I would have been big. I'm a big Gunther fan. I think I would have had him as wrestler of the year. Cody Rhodes, yes, he broke the 13-16 mark of Roman Reigns, pretty much causing this chaos. But he had a lot of help. He had a lot of help from a crybaby in a pink robe on a satellite radio show. And influencing the Twitter universe, where now they're turning on him, where they told him you deserved it when he got power drive at Saturday night's main event. Not a way of finishing the year. His title run, his storylines were a little bland, underwhelming, underperforming. Thank God Kevin Owens is that type of heel that breathed on his neck here, but that's a little bit too late at the end of the year. They would have done this from before they went to Bash at Berlin. We would have been, could have been my wrestler of the year. Winning the Crown Jewel, okay, that's cute. The kids love him. Not to me, not my wrestler of the year. Cody Rhodes, not my cup of coffee. CM Punk, and one of the honorable mentions there. CM Punk didn't do a lot of wrestling, but we wanted to see Punk in that ring. No matter what, when he was injured, not injured, cutting a promo, screwing McIntyre, I pop here, coming out there, and causing him, to lose the title at WrestleMania, and then at the Clash of the Castle and so forth. Man, I kind of we were like, yeah, CM Punk is that guy. You could have gave him the year, but he didn't get in the ring a lot to be a wrestler of the year in the match. Jey Uso, he is phenomenally on fire. People want to see him in your city. But I kind of see him. His wrestling sets are kind of limited or predictable. I like his matches, but I know he's gonna do a super kick. I know he's gonna spit in his hands with the punch. I know he's gonna do a rock bottom, yada yada. Show me something different. Yeah, give me something different. Give me something in your repertoire. I mean, yes, you're selling merchandise, and that's part of it. You're getting the crowd invested behind you. He's, to me, number two. Sami Zayn, no. I'm just going to move on from that for the rest of the year. I'm not a big fan of Sami Zayn. I'm going to go, to me, it's Solo Sikoa because he pinned former champions. Look at the resume that he has on there. Beating, and regardless, at the main event time, they're building him properly, even in losses, because he's beating the former champions. Look at the body count that Solo Sikoa has, that he has pinned, from Roman Reigns, from Cody Rhodes, from AJ Styles, from John Cena. My goodness, put the names on who 7 world champions for Solo Sikoa to win there. Plus, he's got the Samoan werewolf by his side who tells him how much he loves him. I'm going to go with Solo Sikoa as my wrestler of the year. It's not about him, how many wins and losses. It's the matches, the psychology, who you pin, who you beat. But Solo, I got to give him this, though. He's got to change a little bit of his, the same heat I'm giving Jey Uso. I got to give a little bit to Solo Sikoa because he has to change a little bit of his tone. Although this, at least he does the spike and he does the hit, and he's now incorporating the Samoan drop, where he's using his power move, which Jay does not use power move. He's not a power wrestler, but he doesn't go to the super kick so uber much over and over again. That's the reason. How many times you're going to slap your leg in a Jey Uso match? Yep. Count them. We have a Dristy account. we have a drizzly, and we could get a bottle. Every slap to the thigh that Jey Uso has, I think, we'll have poison control on speed dial, because we will get uber drunk.
I was gonna say, I don't think
that.
we'd be able to make it.
That's just me. We move on. Regardless if you agree. So we have our wrestlers of the year. Now, 2025 is coming up. We know wrestling continues to be hot. Netflix, Raw, Netflix, all that good stuff. Who will be your possible female breakout of the year? Here are the nominees of the female breakout of the year. You got Tiffany Stratton, you got B-Fab, Michin, aka Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, or Naomi. Chapin, who do you like as your possible women breakout of 2025? Who are you going to say when we talk about this next year? Like, wow, what a year she had.
There's some really good names. But see, here's where I gotta talk athletically now. My two choices I'm stuck with between is Michin and Zoe Stark. Especially with the matches that Michin's been putting on lately, as far as being able to tell the story, she's right there. I want to pick Zoe Stark so bad, but here's where athletically, she doesn't stay healthy. Go Michin.
Oh, okay. We got Tiffany Stratton from Terrence. Stratton for Terrence. So he likes Tiffy time. Of course, we got Naomi from Miss Gemma. Chris, who is your possible breakout 2025? If you want to put here's some money here, and you want to put a bet, a wager, who's your breakout 2025?
I think I'm going to agree with Terrence. I think it's going to be Tiffany Stratton. She currently holds the Money in the Bank briefcase. She's really over in terms of merch. She's really athletic too. She reminds me of a Charlotte Flair, potentially. I think she's going to get a big push. Michin's a really good mention. She'll be in the mid-card scene pretty often. She'll win it for sure, but who's going to have the bigger breakout in 2025? I think it's going to be Tiffany Stratton.
Okay, I like that. And that's why I'm so thankful that they have these mid-card titles, because now, we saw what Michin did at Saturday night's main event. Phenomenal job showing out there, showing us why she was at that finals at the Saturday night's main event for the title, working hard. Zelina Vega, she's got a big following on X. A lot of people love her. People want to see her wrestle. For Zelina Vega, she has to continue to get us more involved in her matches, like story-wise. Either fighting from the underneath from a struggle, or overcoming, working a body part, psychology, where even if she takes on a bigger woman, she's working on the knee, and she's just for purely becoming a lethal assassin in the ring, on the mat, with working on a body part where we could see, damn, Zelina Vega is working psychology-wise, and we want to see us. Maybe some of the men don't give these psychology opportunities for the wrestling, for the women to play out because of their limited time. But now remember, everything goes to 3 hours now, Raw and SmackDown. So there's going to be time for Zelina Vega to tell stories in her matches. When I mean tell a story in a match like that, I just gave an example. If she's working on a Nia Jax and her knee is compromised, or a bigger woman than her, she's attacking the knee, single leg crab, figure four leg lock, all these different things there. And I kind of want to see Zelina Vega go there, but I don't have her as my breakout wrestler of 2024. I'm just putting a case for her. Dakota Kai, like Chef Dan said, she's got to stay healthy. She's also another one that's getting a following in the wrestling community, wrestling world. Dakota Kai, she's just got to stay healthy. Her heel turn, her matches in NXT Black and Gold were phenomenal. She could work. Again, another one that has to show how she's going to tell her matches psychology-wise in the ring. Same thing as Zelina Vega for Dakota Kai. Zoe Stark, very underrated. Seeing me and Terrence were able to privileged to see her career, most of her career in NXT, seeing her growth. You know, her GTS move, where kind of a badass finisher that she has. You know, Zoe, I don't know if it's going to hurt her being with Pure Fusion Collection with the group of ladies. I don't know if that's going to hurt or not hurt her. People don't seem to gravitate. But remember, Damage Control, no one liked the Damage Control in the beginning either. They were like, oh, get this out of my TV screen. I can't stand them. But now we love Damage Control. So with time passes, maybe Zoe Starks gets there. Michin, again, I mentioned Michin, but I mean to the number one women breakout woman in 2025, and I know it's kind of weird because she's been there before. It's going to be Naomi, because Naomi now is going to, if they go the route that I think they're going with the storyline wise, she's going to give us a freaking hell of a story for 2025. With, we saw it last night. She got back her tag team title that she said, I need to earn it. Well, lady, you didn't really need to earn it. You had it. You just relinquished it because you took bad advice from your tag team partner who's doing whatever. Well, let's stick on topic. And you got to go held that title back. And I think you took out the obstacle. You took out the storm. You weathered the storm, and you got your title back with the EST. And I think when that storyline develops and unfolds, we're like, oh, it's going to be juicy, spicy. And we're off to the races in 2025, because I kind of want to see a heel Naomi. I kind of want to see her being, you know, with that attitude. No more the sauce and glow. Yes, we love her doing the split on the campus. We love her doing all, you know, all this here, wiggling her tush and all that stuff. I need the heel Naomi. I need the person that she's gonna go out there and beat your ass. I don't care.
I feel that way about Bianca.
We're going to talk about that in the segment with Bianca as well. But to me, Naomi becomes the possible breakout women of the year, because I think she's going to give us some story. Because and Bianca's going to be hurt, because now you have Jade. You got Bianca that wants a piece of her. You know, you want to go even turning her back on Bayley. Or even if Bayley joins her, because I think Bayley works better as a damn heel. I don't think Bayley as a babyface works to me. And if she wants to go after the tag team titles and team up with Naomi and attack Jade and Bianca, let's go. Let's do this. Let's go, because that's a WrestleMania match right there. You don't have to run and immediately break up Jade and Bianca because you want them. No, you could say that. There's going to be other big events in 2025. But my thing is, I would love to see that Naomi be the breakout next year in 2025. So we move on here. We go to the male. Who is your breakout male of 2025? Here are the names. You're going to have Ludwig Kaiser, Carmelo Hayes, Big Bronson Reed, Jacob Fatu, Andrade El Idolo, Santo Escobar. I'm going to go to Chris. Who will you think will be your 2025 possible breakout wrestler, and why?
My possible 2025 breakout wrestler is the best signee of the year, Jacob Fatu. I think Jacob Fatu is going to be the best breakout wrestler of the year because, like I said earlier, this guy can do so much. He can do it all. If you know, they're teasing it. Yeah. Well, you know, like you said earlier, you know, you were naming like Jacob Fatu versus this person that would put asses on seats. You're gonna tell me Jacob Fatu versus Roman ain't gonna put asses on seats? You're gonna tell me Jacob Fatu versus Solo ain't gonna... I mean, I think he's gonna have such a great year. The fans know so much about him. I think he's one of those rare guys, you know, because a lot of WWE fans don't really follow what's going on outside of the company, and I think, you know, he's one of those guys that a lot of people knew, and if you didn't, you definitely went out of your way to go find out. He has so much freaking potential. I've been high on him for the last couple of years now. I really think Jacob Fatu is going to be it, but I could see maybe Ludwig because he's been having some good matches, but definitely Jacob because he's essentially part of the biggest storyline in the company. So that's my pick.
All right, Terrence likes Melo Hayes. He's already on his way. Melo don't miss. And you know, we seen it firsthand in NXT. We can see what they do when they put a rocket ship on the back of Carmelo Hayes there. Let's go to you. To Mr. Chef Dan, and I'll get Gemma's pick. Let me give Jacob Fatu for Miss Gemma, which he's in agreement with Terrence. Chef, your breakout 2025 Wrestler of the Year, possibly.
This one is actually super duper easy. There is another name. You guys spoke about it. Whatever. I would have put Solo's name there because I didn't feel. Yeah, I feel like coming into 2025 is gonna be a huge year for Solo, especially knowing like, hey, potentially Rock could just show up and then leave. That'll just lead Solo to do a lot more. But as I look through the list here, I'm seeing there's a couple of guys that are fan favorites that I thought maybe, I would be foolish enough to pick someone like Ilya Dragunov or something like that because fans love pushing for him. And I know you guys have had some good choices about why, Jacob Fatu, but similarly for Solo, he would need to separate himself a little bit from the bloodline or entrench himself more into the bloodline in order to get that speaking role. This one's too easy for me. It's Big Bronson Reed. You mean to tell me 7 tsunamis on a Monday Night Raw? He gets some ankle surgeries and all of a sudden we just forget about the big man? This man was making people cough up blood. He was about to have elite banger matches with Seth freaking Rollins. When he joined with the bloodline, he looked like he belonged, but it wasn't like, oh, he's stealing some of their badass juju. No, it was badasses. Here's another badass for you guys to be with. It's Big Bronson Reed. Easily, when he comes back, he's going to crush someone's sternum with 5 to 6 tsunamis, and the crowd is they're gonna boo the first 5, but after 6 or 7, they're gonna be one more time. It's Bronson Reed.
I like what you're coming from there. I'll tell you one thing they're not going to be doing. They're not going to be throwing toilet paper in the ring. Boy, talk about the mighty has fallen. I mean, my goodness, even the competitors are laughing at him. And by the way, what I mean in reference, this is not with the awards, but I have to make this mention because we're talking about big awards, but the big crapper of the year award goes to Ricochet because they literally threw toilet paper in the ring at him with his match with Will Ospreay, and my goodness, I mean, how the mighty has fallen. Even Will Ospreay broke character and fell on the ground laughing because that's how shitty Ricochet's career has been, leaving WWE. My God, what a bad decision for him. So he gets the Crapper of the Year award, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, I wish I could give you more, but I got to stop it there because you still go home and you still see Samantha Irvin. I mean, for now. But we move on now. And we move on here and we give you the Browsable Breakout 2025. I know Ricochet ain't going to be my Breakout Wrestler of the Year. Here's the nominees. I'm going to give a here. This is going to surprise you because you make great point. I love Big Bronson Reed. Again, Big Bronson Reed, if you hear this video, we know we live in Orlando both. I definitely want to sit down with you at Fogo do Chao, my treat, and I just want to sit down and have a meal. Just eat. We don't have to talk wrestling. Just have to say how you doing. Let's just eat at Fogo de Chao. Let's put the little thing on green light. Let them bring all the meats, and we're just gonna sit there like two big guys and let's go at it.
Chris, I just gotta let you know this. For about a couple of months now, close to a year, Jedi's been inviting this man. Not even for like, yo, I don't even want a conversation. I just want to pay for a meal and watch you eat.
I mean,
let's just eat. Look, by the way, I'm a happily married man. I don't swing that way.
He's
sit down and just eat.
No, I mean, it's definitely possible.
He just wants to sit there in the establishment and just go.
It's definitely possible. I mean, a lot of these wrestlers, live in Orlando. I know a lot about Orlando, as you know, Kev. So, I mean, I don't see.
It could be Texas up to Brazil. If you don't like Fogo de Chao, we'll go to Texas or Brazil. You know what? Let's go for it.
It's not. It could happen. It's not unrealistic.
No, it's not. It's just like, yo, this is how much of a good guy this guy is. He's like,
all I want for Christmas is a meal with Bronson Reed. That's all. I know you got a broken foot. Let's go, big guy. Let's go. Let's go sit down. Let's have a meal. Let's go. Like when we go to Fogo de Chao, we just put the green. They'll bring over different meats from duck to lamb to beef. Let's go. So Rick Brunson Reed, to me, not my possible wrestler of the year. Jacob Fatu breaking out, like you said, you could put him in any of the main events. You know, any one of them is drawing money. You know, possible breakup. But I'm going to go with Ludwig Kaiser. Everyone seeing him growing for Ludwig Kaiser. They love his wrestling ability, his ring general, you know, no pun intended, part of Imperium. But right now, this is a Braun Breaker division right now that I don't know if Ludwig touches title, maybe for a short term and or so forth. If Braun moves up to the world title, similar to what Gunther has done last year. Carmelo Hayes, we've seen him in NXT. The way he continues to excel and grow, what he could grow, what he's done in NXT, what he's doing here on SmackDown. I love what he did with Hip Hop last night and beating him with the count out and beating Braun Strowman. Again, Rick Brunson Reed and that last Monster Stranding with Braun Strowman, now Carmelo Hayes. Hopefully they springboard him into the best of 7 with Andrade. Andrade, another one. I love the way they booking him. You know, getting more TV time. To me, the breakout wrestler is Santo Escobar. No, it's going to go Andrade. Excuse me. I like Santo Escobar. Andrade, because here's the reason why I'm going with Andrade. There is a wrestler coming to the WWE rumored, and his name is Penta Cero Miedo. I think Andrade and Penta Cero Miedo is going to have a banger of a matchup where we're going to like, damn, these guys are going to kill it. And Andrade is going to get pushed after that. He's going to go over without going over Penta. And I think Andrade we're going to see him being booked the way he was on Black and Gold strong. I think he's going to be a breakout where like we didn't see this coming from Andrade going forward. And especially if Charlotte returns, I could see where they're going to play into that, where she's going to be more of a mouthpiece towards for him and so forth. Or even if they bring Jose the assistant, you know, so forth and so forth. I think it's going to be Andrade, my breakout wrestler of the year, because it would have been easy to take Jacob Fatu. Easy. All the accolades, I gave him a lot of accolades. It would have been easy. I kind of wanted to be a little bit outside the box. I wanted to try say someone different, make a case for them, but you could easily make a case for Jacob Fatu, Brunson Reed. They're all great choices. We'll find out a year from now if our choices were on par, on point, or we didn't see that coming, so interesting there. So that is the awards here. Any other possible storyline or anything that we missed out in 2024 that you guys thought about, or would you like to see in 2025? I'll go with you, Chris.
No, I mean 2024 was you pretty much nailed it. You know, these were the people that stood out in 2024. It was a great year for pro wrestling. I think 2025 is going to be better. It's going to be more popular. Where they're starting off the year really hot, and I think 2025 is going to be just an amazing year for pro wrestling, for the WWE. You're going to see numbers skyrocket more than they did this year. You're going to see more people get back into the product than probably they did this year. John Cena's retirement tour. There's so much good things to look forward to in 2025, not just with the WWE, with a bunch of other stuff too in the business. So I'm really excited. I'm excited for what we have going here in 2025 as well. So it's going to be a good year.
I agree with you, Chef. Anything you've seen out there 2025 you would like to see, or we missed out in 2024, or any honorable mentions?
Not really an honorable mention, just something I wanted to say from last night going into today. I know it wasn't a topic here or something to choose from, a category to choose from, but if you had did most improved wrestler,
throw it out there.
I would have had and I was already mentioning, I would have had Solo Sikoa. Because what happened was he just got better and better and better as the year went on. It didn't, there were some moments where it plateaued a little bit, but for the most part, you just kept seeing jumps. He never took a dip. So I understood what you guys were saying there. What I want to see more of in 2025, I love story continuity. I love that we're we're giving the fans what they want within reason, being as long as y'all know what's up as far as the creative. Stop letting the fans dictate. Like, just no more Cody crybabies. That's really what I'm getting to. I don't want to like we're not listening to their opinions this year. Should be it.
Heel Raw Company, we're doing WWE Wrestler of the Year. TNA will be tuned in for the video, and NXT. This is WWE Raw and SmackDown Wrestler of the Year. But nice one. Meechin for a female. Good job on that one. This is the WWE. We will be doing different companies as well. We'll have our NXT as well as the TNA, and then and so forth there. But tonight is the WWE Awards, Wrestler of the Year, and so forth there. Yes, but I appreciate the content, appreciate the good one, and good point there, Chef. You put a good point. And let me ask this: your breakout wrestler of the year, your most improved, kind of like breakout, but most improved wrestler of the year.
Who, mine?
No, you just said Jacob. I mean, Solo Sikoa. I want to hear it, Chris. You set the bar.
Ooh. Wow. I mean, most improved of 2025. Solo's a really good answer. I might say LA Knight.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, last year people thought, it was his time for Money in the Bank or maybe a singles mid-card. People thought he should have won it, should have had the match at WrestleMania. Maybe should have done, he should have had his moment sooner. And he finally got it this year, and he reminds me of a Jey Uso. He's over with the just like Jey Uso's over with the ye. And Jey Uso, you could have put him in that category too, but we haven't talked much about LA Knight throughout, this live episode tonight. So I'm gonna give LA Knight in there. I would say he's the most improved wrestler of this year.
I like your thought there. To me, if I was going to give it to Jey Uso, because it's not easy breaking up from a tag team. You have, because when you're going to get the ring cut off. You're working as a tandem. Who's going to start who's waiting for who's going to blow the comeback? Who's going to get the hot tag? Who's going to be the workman of the team right now? Tonight I'm going to do the work. You're going to do the hot tag. You're going to get the crowd roused. Now you're doing it alone. You're doing it from from the entrance all the way now to the whole the psychology of the match, then when to get the crowd going, when to get the clap going, like we like to say, when to get Bobby to get the clap going with the crowd, the eating, wrapping it up, the finishing, and then the facial expressions, when to kick out at 2.99 and so forth as a single, not having your tag team partner breaking the count. Coming in, I'm gonna, my partner's gonna break this here and this count, or if I'm really injured, he's gonna come and break it out. So I'm gonna give that to Jey Uso, the most improved wrestler of 2024, and he is over, super over, without winning the title until almost about the latter part of the year. Yes, his match at WrestleMania was a little tad underwhelming, but it didn't deter him. LA Knight, great honorable mentions, finally got that world title. But then when LA Knight, like you said, wasn't mentioned at all in any of these awards, no match of the night, no moment of the night. And I understand he's got the merch and he's got the catchphrase and he's got the everyone's saying, and people last year before he caught the gold, the chase, people wanted to see Knight. Now as the champion, we're all happy he's champion, but he didn't do extra to want to keep him that title or elevate the components around him. He just was champion. Okay, that was nice. And that's what hurt it to me LA Knight as the most improved. I'm glad. I kind of want him, hopefully his second title run, whichever one he is going to improve from his first one. I think there's a lot of room for improvement for LA Knight if he becomes a champion again. I think he's going to really now know the same way and I'm going to make a comparison with NXT Trick Williams. His first title run was great, but it was something not missing. Maybe he wasn't ready for it. He wasn't mentally prepared. They didn't want to do the work. Whatever the case, he comes as a champion. Now as this second go around, he's phenomenally as a champion. Maybe that helps for LA Knight, in my opinion. Heel likes the most improved is Liv Morgan. Okay, absolutely there. So we go with that women. Did we get that women most improved? Chris, who do you think the most improved women of 2025 before we wrap this up?
I would say Chelsea Green. I think she reminds me a little bit of an LA Knight. I could say some of the similar things, right? People thought her moment was last year. She had her moment this year. She had her moment just a couple. My first time ever here. I watched her moment with you guys. I think she's going to be one of those girls that break out in 2025. But as of this year, she improved so much. She, like an R-Truth, just got handed these sort of comedy gimmicks, and she turned it into what she could. She was really entertaining. She took some of the weird stuff like a champ that in my opinion, I thought was kind of weird. She did what she could with it, and she made it entertaining. So if I had to pick a most improved wrestler of this year, I would say Chelsea Green, and I think she's going to be phenomenal in 2025.
Okay, love it. Chef, same question to you, friend.
This one's going to make y'all tilt your head, but it actually makes the most sense. My most improved this year is Tiffany Stratton. When you look at it, number one, this is an NIL girl. She's not of any wrestling descent where this business is what's the word again? When it runs basically in the family or
nepotism or
it's a nepotism business essentially. The wrestling business is a nepotism business, and in a business that has a lot of nepotism, they're constantly putting her in positions to shine. And this is a girl who came from, granted, she was a star in NXT, but if you guys remember, her last run in NXT was against Becky Lynch, being punished for not mentioning the right woman, for not knowing her history in doing the promo work and calling out past champions. You go from that to now you're on the main roster, and essentially almost every Friday night they're putting the microphone in your hand or putting a camera in your face and giving you more and more opportunities to speak and things of that nature. She could have put herself right back into a hole. She could have, in the words of our honorable one, she could have Tongaloa'd the whole thing up, but she didn't. She kept being persistent in her craft and getting better and better. So for me, it's Tiffany Stratton.
Love it. I love that. I love the case you brought out there. Not knowing her history there, we like, wait a minute, she didn't win and then of course, getting, and that's part of also improving, knowing, your history, knowing when you're going to speak on the microphone. Look at Swerve Strickland calling the wrong city for AEW, and it happens for WWE wrestlers as well. Not knowing the right city, not cutting your correct promo, not knowing where all the timing, and just some people debuted and were supposed to break up a pin and botched that on his debut and time lower. To me, I think that he's going to be the most improved player because he's the gift that keeps on giving in WWE for him. I can't wait to see more of him in 2025. Let's go. Hopefully get healed, man. Get that pec healed, Tongaloa. We need you there, man. We need you to come back. Definitely stronger, better than ever. But most improved female wrestler of the year, like you said, I like Chelsea Green because they gave her she made the most of what they gave her. 2 minutes. Also, she went into that dumpsters match. She got covered in dirt and filth, and she just kept with the champion. She's like, whatever.
That's what I was talking about, the weird stuff.
The weird stuff. Doing phenomenal work and just driving on. I mean, you could even say Nia Jax with the massive amount of heat that she gets from fans online, and they dislike her. And that woman is toxic heel one-on-one on any crowd. But then the way she continues to work, and you can still see a lot of women still a little afraid of her when she does certain moves in the match, but she's been so safe and so good matches, busted herself open on Friday Night SmackDown. And most improved to me, it's a tough one between her, Nia Jax, and Chelsea Green. But Nia is the world champion, but Chelsea, with the little she did, she's gotten over, man. And that just gives me the nudge on Chelsea Green just a little bit over Nia. But I damn want to give it to Nia so badly. You know, if she just would have won that Crown Jewel championship, would have been like, wow, what a caveat. But she is Queen of the Ring. So I am kind of talking myself into Nia to be the most improved.
Really
she is the Queen of the Ring because she just won that tournament of crowning the queen. She is the queen. She was the best of the best, regardless of the fact. So I am changing here as I speaking myself out, because this wasn't a category that I had up there to have a week's contemplation of thinking about and coming to my own conclusion. So I'm going with Nia Jax. Sorry for the flip-flop, guys, but I'm going with Nia Jax for those reasons, having that conversation with you guys, having that debate over Chelsea Green, because damn, Nia, just that Queen of the Ring, just separated her. Main eventing an international pay-per-view in Elimination Chamber, like I mentioned, was another big caveat there, with Chelsea hasn't main event yet either. And if you want to put, if you're putting a balance of pros and cons, that's where I'm going to move over towards a Nia Jax to be that woman in most improved in 2024 for me, man. But this is I love these type of debates. They're tough choices because at the end of the day, either one of these nominees that we put on these, you can't go wrong with them. That's why we kind of talked about giving a case on which of these wrestlers we think was deserved to be mentioned on this dais. Man, this was fun.
I agree. You can't go wrong with anybody. They're all really, yeah. I mean, that's why it's good to talk, because sometimes people have different, opinions of others, and that's why I wanted to mix it up a little bit, because we can't all just pick the same answers. There's so many improved, especially in that category. I know it wasn't really a category, but we kind of just did it now. But that there's so many.
It's great though, because it's so great when we talk about, because if this was 40 years ago, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan.
Who's the most improved? Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
All right. Well, who's the breakout for next year?
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Who's the most despicable heel? That would have been different. That would have been maybe Ted DiBiase, King Kong Bundy, Macho Man Randy Savage, depending.
Yeah.
I mean, only one. You could even set what you call it, oh damn, I forgot the name that Hulk Hogan wore the mask. The Patriot, the Hulk.
Mr. America or something like that.
It was something. He was in a tag team, and we knew it was Hulk Hogan. The Machines. There you go. Hulk Hogan put the mask on, but you could tell by his body. Hulk Hogan. I mean, yeah, but I love it that we're having this conversation though. But with that, we're going to do an NXT. We are going to do an NXT breakout because NXT's got a lot of substance. Mr. America, but I think it was something else. It was the Hulk Machine. It wasn't Mr. America. It was Mr. Hulk Machine. It was the Hulk Machine with the machines. Andre the Giant was a machine at times. Look at him. That's that's like 90s, late 80s there. Wish Gemma was around though. Gemma would have reminded me quickly because me and Gemma are on that same timeline. But we're going to have an NXT Awards. We're going to have a TNA. Yes, we are going to do TNA. It might be a recorded video, a quick one, but it's a TNA Awards because we do cover TNA here weekly, 2 week. We're going to have a TNA. We're going to have an NXT. And, of course, we appreciate everyone. Absolutely. We're going to finish strong. Oh, man, we got it. So we thank everyone for the awards. Those are the Golden Lightsaber Awards from us watching us from our point of view. Not some Twitter guy in a pink robe. It's us watching with our eyes, covering the matches from January to now, watching wrestling each and every day that there is live wrestling we cover. So we want to say thank you guys for the support, the love, and we love everyone. And let's go. So we're going to say thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Buenas noches. We'll see you soon.